Guys, let's get more news about Warriors, but first don't forget to subscribe and leave your like. Draymond Green shares complex views on if Warriors win another chip. The Warriors are nowhere near title contention this season, but that doesn't change anything for Draymond Green. He may not believe that the team is capable of a championship right now, but they are on the way to building to another one, which will partly be to his credit whether we win another championship or not. If the Warriors win the championship 7 years from now, 10 years from now, that's our championship period, Green said via The Athletic. The four-time champ feels positive about the new additions of the Anthony Melton, Kyle Anderson and Buddy Hield, and it's proof that the Warriors front office are thinking in the same way Green is. I know I ain't done, I know he ain't done, Green said, pointing to Curry. So it ain't like alright, I feel like I'm at the end, I'm cashing it in now, we can do that, yes again, I know we can do it. Again, I'm not a part of the CO consortium that don't think we can get it done, but in doing it again you've got to acknowledge that it's not going to look like it did before. I'd struggle if we were just cashing it in, that ain't for me, but I don't feel like anyone around here is doing that. We're actively trying to put the pieces together to build. Head coach Steve Kerr is also on board with Green's attitude. That's kind of the tone that everybody wants to set. You don't want a championship, you're a failure. KR said it's not real life, so what's real life for us is we have a chance to have a hell of a year and be a really scrappy, tough, defensive-minded team. We have the pieces to do that, and when you do stuff right and you do stuff with a plan and you do stuff with force, it sets you up to take another step. D'Angelo Russell is the latest Lakers player to lead incoming coach JJ Redick. The new systems he's implementing in. It's no secret that Russell struggled to forge a strong relationship with the Lakers' last coach Darvin Ham over the past 2 seasons. But the guard is having a different experience with. I'm not throwing shots at anybody, but I've never really had the opportunity to build a relationship with a coach over a long period of time, Russell said via ESPN. For me to see how JJ is trying to bring the play calls and just level of IQ into each practice and each film session, to see how he's prioritizing that. I've always been a guy that wants to prioritize high IQ, high level verbi, high level film sessions like Let's Rise to That, and he's obviously doing that. It's something to look forward to. Russell went on to explain how he was out golfing this week and found himself thinking back to one of the plays Ree had already implemented in camp. He then reached out to and showed his appreciation. I was on the golf course and I was thinking about it and I sent JJ a little voice note, Russell said, thanking him for putting that play out. I'd never seen it. I'm not trying to hype it up, but I thanked him for showing me that I saw him getting into his bag right there. And it's exciting for players to notice stuff like that. The Lakers will open their preseason with a game against the Timberwolves on Friday, which will mark Rex NBA coaching debut. Warriors camp takeaways. See, pleased by players' conditioning building blocks continue to grow and BSD upon one another at Warriors training camp on the Bayou Hawaii campus. Golden State scrimmaged Thursday but didn't go full court during practice after doing so the day prior. Coach Steve Kerr is really happy with the conditioning and shape that his group came to camp in. Transition defense, and defense is a key emphasis going into the 2024-25 NBA season after falling down the rankings last season and not playing their particular style of basketball. To say their Warriors play there has been unacceptable in that regard the past 2 seasons. A Chris Paul style of play in slowing the game down and getting into a set offense more frequently isn't the product that will be seen on the floor this season. Here are 5 takeaways from the third day of Warriors training camp, which featured comments from Kerr, Buddy Hield and Kyle Anderson. Speed tiring teams out and pushing the paces back for the Warriors during Wednesday's scrimmage. Jonathan Kuminga sprinting down the floor and into the lane created an open 3-pointer for a teammate. That's one example that will make K happy. He also feels like the Warriors have the right players at the right ages to get back to being a track team on the hardwood, with Brandon Poddy, Anthony Melton and our other guys handling dribbling the ball behind Steph Curry. We feel like it makes a lot of sense to play fast and we have the right person to do it, K said, but the only way it works is if we take care of the ball and get good shots, and that's what we're really working on. The Warriors lost two future Hall of Fame players over the off-season in Paul and Klay Thompson. They too also are on the tail end of their careers at 39 and 34 years old. Podziemski still is 21 and Melton is 26. Newcomer Kyle Anderson 31. Can feel the different compare Ed to his previous teams. Obviously you have to be in shape to play fast. The man nicknamed Slow-O said day one was a little tough. I'm going to speak for myself, but I think the last 2 days I kind of picked it up. It's different being in shape and basketball shape. We are flying up the court, we're getting back on defense in transition. You got to get your legs underneath you. Jonathan Kuminga should not receive a maximum contract offer from the Warriors. Jonathan Kuminga enjoyed the best season of his career in the 2023-24 season. The winger achieved good numbers and presented the evolution desired by the Golden State Warriors when they selected him in the 2021 draft. Despite the factors in question, the franchise does not seem prepared to offer a maximum contract to the player, at least at the current moment. According to The Athletic's Anthony Later, the Warriors will take a careful look at Kuminga's situation over the next few months. The fear of making a maximum offer, however, does not prevent the winger from reaching a financially advantageous agreement. That doesn't mean there isn't a reasonable compromise, possibly in the region of $30 million per season. As the deadline approaches, no one can predict what could happen if Jonathan Kuminga receives a concrete proposal with the potential to change his financial life and the Warriors change their mind about a maximum deal. As the salary space increases more and more, there are already negotiations in search of an agreement, according to league sources, but without a consensus, explains Slater. According to Jake Pfizer from Yahoo Sports, the players' representative sought a maximum 5-year contract during the month of August, but the idea did not please Golden State. After agreeing to a record extension with Stephen Curry for 1 year and $62.6 million, thus the team could exceed the limits of the salary cap in the case of a new agreement, suffering severe sporting and financial punishments to prove to the Warriors that he deserves the high numbers. Jonathan Kuminga will have to raise his averages even further. In the last campaign, the winger already recorded the best of his career in points, 16.1 rebounds, 4.8, and shooting from the field 52.9%. Despite the notable improvement, the season ended in frustration, with the Californian team being left out of the playoff race. Even at 21 years old, Kuminga will have time to continue developing his game. Golden State also sees itself in a comfortable position to keep the player on its roster if an agreement is not reached by the deadline October 21st. The athlete will still be a restricted free agent, and any offer received in the off-season can be matched by the current team. And you fan, what do you think of the situation of Jonathan Kuminga? Leave your opinion in the comments.